That personal, man. I thought we were a running team.
I'm good. I'm glad I helped you win.
You did. You did. That was a great college basketball game. There's no question about it, because two teams that I think respect each other a great deal. They're an outstanding team. The pageantry of the game, the atmosphere was tremendous. There's no doubt about that. It's been this way forever. I don't think we get that extra edge in the game without this crowd. And they've been doing it so well, and they just stick with these guys, and our guys just feed off of it. But I'm really proud of the way our team in a short period of time responded to a game plan, carried it out as much as possible. The thing with Michigan is they're not putting anybody out on the court that can't score, and it's the three-point shots, it's the ability to get to the rim, and in some of their cases the mid-range shooting that they have. They play excellent defense, and our guys continue to figure things out offensively as the game went on, and we really held true to what we wanted to do defensively. We got a lot of excellent contributions from a lot of people. Yogi Ferrell is playing at an extremely high level. The approach that he takes to it, the leadership that he's displaying over the last couple of weeks, the improvement's been some of the best I've been around. And if he continues to keep that up, the sky's the limit for him. There's no doubt about it. He's playing like I wouldn't call him a guard, I wouldn't call him a point guard, I'd call him a lead guard. Because when you're capable of doing the things that he can do on both ends of the court, and you're leading your team, okay, you're a lead guard. And Will did a phenomenal job of basically captaining our defense today based on what we wanted to do switching-wise. And we had 49 deflections, which is a great number for us when we win. Yogi had 10, Noah and Will each had 9. I thought Troy made some great contributions inside the game. Evan Gordon was not cleared till late this morning to play because he had been sick the last couple of days, didn't practice at all yesterday. I knew he wanted to play. We had film sent over to his apartment last night, wasn't even with the team last night. Comes in this morning and today played as fast and as aggressive as we've seen. So we got a lot of great efforts from a lot of really good young men and people that came in the game. Continued to play hard, impacted the game, and we know we beat an outstanding team, so we're proud of it.
Pete?
Hey, Tom, can you talk a little bit more about your defense? In the last 3 games, you've had 5 outstanding halves. I know the one against Nebraska wasn't so good, but what's been the key in those with his defense in the last?
I think energy wears itself a lot of different ways. I think it comes in the activity that you have with your hands. I think it's the moving feet. You can't let Michigan turn the corner for periods of time because they're so good at getting into the lane. And Michigan's an assist team, and they're really good because they can get to the rim. And they can put pressure on you that way. I mean, Stauskas is such a great scorer because of the rim, because of the mid-range, because of the three-point shooting, and because he assists. He gets so many assists. So when Michigan is doing a great job with their passing, they're very, very hard to beat. And we needed to do an excellent job of trying to make it harder for them to find their outlets, make it harder for them to find the wings. And we also had to get back in transition. We didn't do a great job of getting back in the first half. We did a much better job in the second half. So I think the difference is the energy of the hands, the talking, and then really just staying committed to what we need to do in that game. As these guys are learning, and this is the hardest for young guys defensively. The hardest thing for any of them is that you got to continue to play through it when you're not having a great game offensively or you're not getting that confidence from your shot. But the hard part defensively is that every game is different. And you have to understand how that other team wants to win. And against Nebraska the other night, we understood it pretty well in the first half. We got away from it in the second half. Today we understood it for the entire game, and we were successful.
Okay.
Yogi had the night that he is, but but how important was it that he scored in the flow of the offense? He wasn't taking heat checks, wasn't forcing
Oh yeah,
shots.
very important. Heat checks are really a lot of times a recipe to get a break. You know, and we can't play that way. And I thought our guys did a really good job of continuing to find him. You have to have Yogi in movement. He's going to be guarded, and he's going to be guarded by the whole team. Okay, it's just the way that it is. And the more that he stands, or the more that he has it in his hands, and the more that he's dribbling in certain areas, it just plays right into the hands of the defense. So he's got to be in movement, and I thought that's what he did. Whether it was man, whether it was zone, whether it was the break, whatever it was, he was really, really good in movement. and his teammates continued to move and cut. We stood around a little bit the other night, and some of that was him, some of that was us, some of us was just not continuing to flash into the gaps that are there, man or zone. And tonight we didn't have that, or today we didn't have that. Feels like night. We didn't have that issue today, and but he was a big part of that. And the ball continued to move because he continued to move. And sometimes it's not about the play call. It's really you just got to get in movement. You know, the pageantry of the game was still affecting us a little bit coming out of timeouts. And you know, this guy's in the wrong spot here, this guy's in the wrong spot there, and sometimes you just got to play through it. And we did a good job of that.
Jeff?
Tom, Beeline said what you guys did defensively was something that he hadn't seen his whole tenure at Michigan. How did you kind of come up with that approach, and why did you feel it was so effective for you?
Well, I think the best thing for me to do is to stay with the fact that we've got great coaches on our coaching staff, and they're phenomenal. And they're head coaches, and they'll be head coaches again, and I think they deserve all the credit. But the players deserve the credit for carrying it out. And the bottom line is that we started working on this, you know, last week. You get it. You have to. All I will really say about the game plan is we couldn't guard them conventionally. You know, we had tough matchups, so we had to overcome that a little bit. And I'll give Tim Buckley, B-U-C-K-L-E-Y, Steve McLean, M, little c, big C, L-A-I-N, Kenny Johnson, KJ Relentless for short, Rob Judson, you know, give them credit because they deserve it.
How important was Will in just carrying that out?
Tremendous. Wouldn't have worked without it. Wouldn't have worked without it. No question. You know, in this game, you really had to have a captain of the defense. And he did a phenomenal job. And but I thought the confidence that other guys played with continued to help them. And even when we lost them, they were able to continue doing what we had to do.
When you were matched up individually, what did Yogi do that was so effective on Stauskas, and how did you sort of decide to use him in that way?
Oh, I just think you've got to be conscious of where Stauskas is at all times and understand that he can score from a lot of different areas, and you've got to try to make his catches hard, but you got to make his ability to get free looks and open passes to the basket a little bit harder.
Yogi talked after the Nebraska game basically about demanding more on defense. How important is it for a guy that you want to keep developing as a leader to come out and play the way he did today, to basically kind of, I guess, you know, take those words and then live them?
Well, I think he did, but I think our entire team did. So proud of all of our guys defensively, but there's no question Yogi was a catalyst for our team on both ends of the court.
Anything else?
All right, thank you.
Thank you.